I love the interaction between Eva and Malia while they were getting ready. It reminds me of my relationship with my friends. Is this scene a reflection of you and your friends, Corenna? Absolutely. Um, I think that when I was working on building these characters and their world, I definitely brought in different elements and things that I personally experienced. But that's what you do as a writer. You can't write about something that you've never experienced. I mean, you could imagine what it might look like, but you're going to be drawing references from somewhere. So yeah, definitely me and my girls doing our hair and makeup, sitting around, laughing and talking and joking. It definitely is reflective of like their relationship. It's very fun. It's very playful. Um, they talk trash to each other, but it's not in a way where the other one's like, okay, you crossed the line, sis. But just having fun, just joking, teasing each other. So, what about you guys?
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I kind of have mixed feelings about her, Eva. I think in a way because I've had friends that, tried to, I guess, apply themselves to my life, like, well, I need to help you do this. So, like, her just encouraging, her to go in the first place, that would be a big boundary problem for me. I like, people like, hey sis, you need to get out and do this, and you need to do that, but you like going against me basically and like signing me up, and then, we're getting dressed and stuff. I would have like a huge problem with that. So honestly, I would probably have an attitude and not be getting dressed anyways. That's just me. But and then I've also noticed like I as I get older, I notice like, playing and nitpicking. Um, like I said, that's something else that I've become very uncomfortable with, and I don't know if, that's just based off of my own personal experience. But I never tried to degrade my friends or try to even in like, certain jokes, because the thing is certain jokes touch, and people don't realize it, or oh, I was just playing or I was just kidding. And there's a lot of things, that I don't joke about at all, and other people might think, that's normal, but to me, I'm very sensitive. So I try to be more aware, I guess, of what I say and what I joke about. So um, kind of stuff says, she was saying, I was like, no, mm-mm. If she would have said that to me, nope, sis, we would have had a whole talk about it because I don't like the way you said that, and I'm gonna need you to readdress what you said. So, like I said, I just kind of have mixed feelings about the boundaries with her.
I think like with me and my friends, because I'm as tough as I am, and I'm tough like rusty nails. Like you will have to go to the hospital and get some shots to deal with the virus that I'm gonna put on your ass. But I'm sensitive too. Like so, like maybe crazy people are just like that. Like they're crazy, but they also super sensitive. And so with me and my friends, it's like I know they can say something to me, and I already know I'll be like, you know what I'm saying? Like I know it wasn't like that. There are people that they'll say stuff and I know off the cuff, like, oh, you was trying to take a little dig or you thought you was being cute. Like, I'm about to tune you up, sis. But when it comes from my girls and when we say like I know Kyrie, I know Alicia, I know Bella, I know y'all so well that I'm like, we just joking. Like I know it. But you also know when some people aren't necessarily joking, but then when they tell jokes, but they're trying to be truthful, but they're trying to like, basically slap you in the face. I've had those people in my life as well. And I definitely know the difference and I feel the difference. Cause Alicia can be like, Karina, I think you're being a little naive, a little toxic. And I will just scream because I'm like, she's right, and I know it ain't like she's trying to like cut me or nothing. She's being completely, totally honest. And I need that. But these are also trusted advisors in my life. These are people that I look for their advice and their feedback. And these are people who have proven themselves to me over and over and over and over. So I know that it's the truth. Like, what I'm saying? It's never going to be a situation where you're saying something because you're trying to hurt me or you're trying to take a dig. I feel like we joke and we play, but it's all love. When the vibe is wrong, when the spirit is not right. Like you saying it, but I know what you're really trying to say on top of that. And those are the people that I get away from. But y'all three, I know y'all. We good. Who else is jumping into that mix?
Yeah, I definitely agree. And you're talking about the virus that you gonna put on people, but the virus can also be the cure. Because there would be some things that Karina, she'll be going off and going crazy and whatever, and I'll just be like, that was just so beautiful. I just love the way you just cussed that person out. I just want to do that so bad. So, what some of your friends may see as a flaw, it can be a strength in another friend's eyes, someone that really truly loves you. And I feel like me and Karina really have that dynamic, because she'd be like, "Oh, I wish I wasn't this way," and I'm like, "I love that the most about you," But yeah, and like Karina was saying, when somebody's even in having those harder conversations, or your friend is saying something that you really don't want to talk about or want to hear, it's in love. It's coming from a good place. And if it's not, if you're going to feel it, and maybe you have to reevaluate that friendship, but that is something that, we've all found. I haven't been around Alicia a whole bunch, but when we have been around each other, it's just always good vibes. I mean, she's my sister. I love her, as much as Karina does, and they've spent their whole life together, So when I think about the people that I'm grateful for to have in my life, Alicia is always in that category, So I definitely appreciate having you ladies. So.
I love you too. Sorry.
We had a wonderful time on our girls' trip. We was just really bonding. But
we seriously need to do that again, like real talk, like for real.
Yeah. We had a great
Even
time.
if we go to the same place and see Tanya again, she gives really good hugs. That's all
she gives really great hugs.
She just got the best hugs. I'm like,
she got the mama bear hugs.
Yes, she does.
Y'all was really over there vibing.
Mama bear hug. What is that?
Where it's a mama's hug, where it's like it's pure love. It's just something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Girl, I thought you said llama bear, like llama. I was like, girl, llama. I was like, what type of llama hug is you getting?
Llama.
Alicia, what were your thoughts on that question?
I thought it was cute. It was cute. They weren't, beefing, because Eva's the one that gives her a hard time, right?
She gives her truth, yeah. Her and Wendy, they both like to give her lots of truth. And Malia needs it. She's kind of whimsical, so.
Right. So, yeah, it was cute to see them actually like get together and, getting ready for something and like, okay, let me do your hair. Let me do this for you. And then they're like kind of taking jabs at each other, but not going too deep, taking it too far, nothing like that. It was, you kind of understand their relationship actually a little more, because it was always, here comes Eva. But, they're actually, Eva is able to get her out the house and get her to do something, and she didn't just go like and try and ruin it for her or nothing like that. Like Malia went and she participated and was a good sport about it all. She didn't clam up. She enjoyed herself. So yeah.
Definitely.
And it's definitely the reflection, especially like me and Corenna getting together. I mean, it takes us a while because it just takes us a while. But a lot of the time, we cracking jokes. We doing the same thing. Corenna be fixing my wigs. And we just talking. And yeah, it's, we finally get out the door and be like, hold on, where were we going?
Girl.
We don't kick it already, just get ready. So
listening to music, doing hair and makeup, talking jazz. And I think that I think it becomes more apparent that when Malia's around her friends, how serious she really is. Like they'll say something, she'll cut an eye, like she's always kind of just like very, very serious, where, as the story progresses, you're going to see more of Wendy and all of them getting together and laughing. And it's like, they really have to pull her out because she'd just be so serious and she'd be so reserved all the time. And her friends just be like, girl, you got to come on, girl. Like, just let that wall down and enjoy yourself a little bit. So her friends definitely try to help her like enjoy the moment.
Awesome. Our next question is, Noah and Andres and Sean, will we see more from these characters? And who would you have dated out of the three? Okay. I would have dated none of them because I wouldn't have been there. I would have been at home missing out on all kinds of relationships. So that's me.
Well, there's that.
I mean, unless she ran into him again, like at the store or something, then it would have been
You
Mickey
know,
Mouse.
maybe the library or
It wouldn't have
something.
been it again because I didn't meet him the first time. So
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep. You're right.
She's so crazy. Oh my god. Alicia, what about you, girl?
Um, I don't think we need to see any more of them. I didn't like the Spanish dude.
Yeah,
Um,
Andres.
yeah, you like the I don't want to roll. I feel like I'll feel
Andres.
stupid or I'll
You
end up
better bring out that Puerto Rican side, sis.
I
Let
can't.
your Hispanic heritage
I'm letting
rise
them
in
down.
you.
I know. I know my cousins are probably like, the heck,
I've
what?
been trying to work with her with that tongue. I can't say it. And I'm like, let's
I can't.
practice the Spanish.
Or I
My
can
dad
do
used to,
it, but it sounds weird. But
whatever. You just got to loosen that tongue up a little bit. My dad used to drill us with Spanish when we was kids. Remember that?
oh my god, yeah, he did.
Yeah, he was fluent in Spanish. And so he was like, y'all gonna get this. And I didn't get it the way I want to get it. I'd be still messing up stuff.
Yeah, I don't think we need to see any more of the characters. But out of those three, the personalities and blah blah blah, definitely Sean. He's a brother. He's a professional. He got it going on.
He does.
Noah just seems like, he's curious. I'd be like a
Yeah.
museum exhibit to him. And
Yeah.
like and the other dude is giving F boy energy. So it would
Definitely.
be Sean. It would be Sean out the three.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What about you, Bella? Ella?
Bella Ella.
What? I'm not gonna lie. I would probably like if Sean asked me for my number, I'd be like, sir, when you get done with your residency program, we could do something. We could do a little something. But like Alicia said, the European man, what is his name?
Which one are you talking about?
Make sure. 'Cause I keep forgetting his name.
Andres, the Hispanic dude who's
The
Cubano.
European.
So Noah was the white
No,
dude who's a
the
real
white
estate
guy.
agent. Yeah.
Noah. No. Girl, I almost said Chris. Excuse me. Noah. That would turn me all off. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as you're talking about, oh yeah, well, I know you mostly date white women and Asians. First
Yeah.
of all, that kind of already tells me what kind of guy you are. You kind of stick to your little realm. You're not used to that. Obviously, either you didn't grow up around it, or you just weren't introduced to it. So I'm sure your family isn't very integrated at all or blended. And me, coming from being mixed myself, a lot of people, they see me as like, well, I mean, she's colored, but not that colored, So I've had people be like, I guess, try me as a tester. And I don't, it's just not for me. I don't care for it. So, especially when men like that say, like, well, I've never dated a colored girl before, but, I'm willing to give it a try. First of all, sir, you called me colored, so there's nothing that we can do there. Okay. I'm sorry, or,
Rap.
yeah. Like I've had somebody and they're like, yeah, I've never been into, the blacks, but I'm willing to try it out. And I said, the blacks?
Negras.
Oh my God. So, I think there's just some people that are out there and just, and a lot of people they fetishize it, and it's not really their thing. So
Right.
he would be a no. Andreas, he obviously, I'm not gonna lie, him be fine and him having some money, not even gonna hold you, but he obviously sounds like he don't really got too much going on outside of that. And honestly, when she asked him, about him being married, he's like, yeah, I just kind of want to one and done it. And it was just the way he said it to me, that would turn me off too. Like,
Definitely.
what do you mean? When somebody like to me, when I'm asking you, what do you want to do in your life? You should be passionate. I just want a wife. I want a family. I want the children. The white picket fence. You got to give me some passion behind that. But you talking about some, yeah, we just gonna one and done it. After that, if it don't work, then it just ain't for me. That's not the type of person that I want. So he turned me off from that. But Sean, I mean, he was giving nothing but green flags, He had a good job, you know what I'm saying? He was very nice. He was polite. He asked for consent to sit down, which I'm like, that's cool with me. So if he would have asked for my number, I would have definitely gave it. But other than that, everybody else is a no.
I fully agree with you. No, it was a no because he sounded to me like he was on some fetish stuff. Like, I've always been curious about a black woman. Well, you're not going to get your curiosity filled over here with me because I'm like Bella said, I ain't nobody's taste tester. You ain't gonna be over here tasting my brown caramel to see what it feel like with your coffee. We don't do that. Sorry, I'm nobody's tester. So that was a no. It was just really cringy. He was giving me super cornball vibes, and I just couldn't. Andres, when he came to the table, baby, Papi Chulo was talking Spanish. So I was like, me gusta. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it? What's up? You know what I'm saying? Mi amo Corina. You know what I'm saying? I got you, pa. So I'm gonna bust out all that Spanish that my dad was trying to teach us as kids. Like, I'm gonna be like, let me piece something together real quick. I
Right.
was feeling him.
Mm-hmm.
Honey, he came over real guapo, muy guapo. I was feeling him. And then he started talking, and I was like, you know, like when she was asking him, like, okay, so what brought you to Portland? And it was like, okay, he's got like 5, nightclubs in Miami. Honey, one nightclub is gonna bring you cash, baby. You got 5. Ooh, my God, he's an entrepreneur. He's a philanthropist. Let's do it. I like boss men, right? So let's do it, right? And so then he was saying that, he was on this project and building green condos. And so that to me is luxury apartments, high rises. So I'm with that too. But then when he just started talking about like relationships and Malia started asking questions and it said that he was kind of moving in his chair, that to me was somebody who was uncomfortable. It seemed like he was just there to be the star player of the show tonight. He's gonna come through with all his sexy Cubano-ness, you know what I mean, out here in old dry Portland. He gonna show up and be a whole showstopper, right? So I don't know, when she was talking to him about like just relationships and he's all, it's gotta be the right one. First off, every time I hear somebody say, like, when you talk to a guy, even if it's like a friend, and they be like, well, I ain't gonna just be with anybody. It's just gotta be the right one. Well, first off, ain't nobody just told you just to go and be with anybody.
Right.
No, like this marriage ain't for everybody. It is a situation where you do have to, it's like putting together a puzzle. I don't know if y'all have ever been to like the very end of a puzzle and you just want it to be done because it's like 1,000 pieces or something stupid, right?
Right.
And you'll find the piece and you be like, I'm gonna make that piece fit, and you take your hand and you be doing this. And my dad used to be like, you gonna tear up the puzzle, Corenna. And I'm like, well, I'm trying to make it fit because I want to be done with it. Come to find out, the piece that I needed was underneath the table. And I had to pick it back up and it fit like it was supposed to. No
Right.
need to force it. So that's how I see relationships and marriage. Like, it's one of those things that it fits when it fits. And I hate when I hear people say, well, I'm not going to force myself. You sound toxic right now because ain't nobody asking you to force yourself on something that's as serious as marriage, relationship, family, and kids. Okay. So when he started talking like that, I was like, and then, he was asking her if she would move for love. And I'm like, but you're not taking into consideration the fact that she has her own business, like, would you move out here to the Pacific Northwest and give up all you have, sir, for love? Like, don't ask me nothing stupid. She told you she's thinking about opening up a 3rd location. And yes, Miami is very beautiful. Just got back myself. Okay. It's beautiful. It's warm. Spent a whole week out there. It's gorgeous in Miami, right? And I definitely understand what he was saying about it being like cold out here and it's about to turn into an ice box. But again, I just felt like you're not validating the fact that this woman is a business owner, and you're like, well, would you move for love and all this type of stuff? And I'm like, why are people so quick to ask women, would you give up all of what you have and come chase after me? Well, I'm just gonna cheat on you anyway and get somebody else pregnant, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm gonna ask you to just stay around and
That's
and
what I
and,
was
and
gonna
forget
say.
me.
You
Just
know,
forget me. I'm human.
yeah, he's
What's the
saying
great
for love, but he's not willing to give up nothing or move her there. She would have
that?
gave up everything, got out there, and he would have acted a fool. And yeah,
Right.
she just told you she's opening a 3rd location in the same area. You're
It
like,
was
oh, you
upset.
willing to give all that up to be with me, who can't even tell you whether or not I want to settle down?
Yeah, and then he was all, he was talking about he just bought a 6,000 square foot home, which I don't need to know the square footage. Like, I mean, it's nice that you said that, but to me, you very much are leading with that wallet, baby. You really leading with the resume of the 5 clubs. Again, I am not upset. I'm not mad at the fact that you have 5 clubs. I think that's quite ambitious. That lets me know that you can take good care of your family, and you can leave a nice little inheritance, and then the fact that you're now getting into like real estate and development of property, yeah, it's real striking. Now you have a house, but you're not like, I'm looking for that life partner to share that with. Like Bella was saying, where was the passion? Where was the enthusiasm? Where was that? Where was that vibe? Like there was zero. It was almost like, hey, you fine, and I know I look good, and I'm here for the night. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even tomorrow. So like, what is it? Like, it wasn't given, I want long term. It was given, I'm here in the moment right now. So what you got to offer? And so I was like, red flags with him, baby, with his gray eyes, red flags. So he's a no. Okay, we know Noah can't go. We know Andres. Sorry, homeboy. Yeah, you can't. Sean, my brother Sean. I was really feeling him. He came, yeah, soul brother number one, baby. He came through like a champ. Like he was very chivalrous. He was very kind. He was very gentlemanlike. He asked her questions about like her family. He, told her about how close him and his siblings are. And there's six of them, three brothers, three sisters, and he just seemed really, really cool. And I loved his answer when she was asking, like, why are you now on the market? Why do you want to date? And he was saying that he's just been so caught up in being a doctor and going to medical school and getting all his classes and everything out the way and focusing on that he realized he's done it. He's in his third year of residency. He's finishing up that, going into his fourth year. And he's just like, did all this work to only know now that like I have no social life outside of work. And now he's like ready to incorporate a relationship because he realizes he needs balance. He can't just be at the hospital saving lives or being there and being a good doctor, but like he wants to have a life. And so I was really feeling his answers. He came off as very genuine. He seemed like he really wanted something real. And I would have gave him that realness. I would have gave it to him, not tonight. But eventually a little date here and there, find out who you really are. And if you are who you say you are, I'm here for. And so it's like, it's nice to have a career and those things. But if you don't know how to balance out, like, having that career and having a relationship, you'll kill any relationship. It'll be like a plant that you bought from the store and didn't water it and it dried up and it died, right? Because a woman is going to sit around and wait. I don't care if you are a doctor. I don't care if you are, a resident and you're almost done with all your formal training. I don't care about none of that. If you don't have time to hit me up, during your lunch break, if you can't text me in the morning, hey, sexy, like if you're just not making that effort, and that's okay, because mentally and emotionally, you need to be in a place where you want what I want. And if you're just like, yo, she cute, whatever, but I'm saying, I'll talk to her when I talk to her, like it might be 6 months. Do you really think I'm waiting for 6 months for you?
No.
We're not doing that. There was a guy who liked me years ago, and I liked him too, and we had a vibe, okay? Nothing happened because, I find out later on, he had a girlfriend. So that's the reason why he didn't ask for the phone number, but the vibe was there. But he had told a mutual friend of mine, like, Corinna is such a cool girl. Like if our paths ever cross and we single, I'm definitely hollering at her. And I was like, well, we'll see what happens. So our paths crossed and he was single. And I'm like, honey, he came down to my job, with the homegirl. And I was like, he was looking real nice, And so we talking or whatever. Again, he didn't ask for a phone number. So I was like, F it. Like, why are we doing it? And she was like, he really likes you. And he's just waiting for the right time to approach you. Nobody got time for that. So she's like, well, he got a whole plan of action. And he just like his job laid him off. And so now he's applying at another job and all this stuff. But he had this whole plan of action, how he wanted to approach me. And I was like, if he's like, don't worry about that. Just come through. Like, I don't care about your job because I was working. I had my own, you know what I mean? I wasn't dependent on him. Anyways, he got all his ducks in a row. He came back 8 months later. Honey, Corenna was married that fast. And he was like, wait a minute. I just saw her in January. And you talking about October, she already married? He was like, but she was single. I was. But somebody met me and was like, oh no, we getting you off the market like today. Like, my husband came, he wasn't playing with it, baby. We was together a month and a half, and he was like, you my soulmate. I want to marry you, girl. And I was like, oh, you playing games. Like, okay. I don't believe it. And he was like, no, he was like, no, you it for me. He was like, you got everything I want. I want this. And I was like, well, go talk to my mom about that. Because when people say stuff like that, I'm like, you ain't going to be over here gaslighting me. You need to go announce that on the top of the mountain. She the one I want right here. Go talk to my mom. Go talk to my brothers. Because my father passed, so you can't talk to him unless you're going to do a seance, and I'm not with that. So go talk to the fam or whatever. And so I didn't think he was really going to do it. I was really just calling him out. Prove it. And he did. He went to my mom, like, private meeting, conversation, like, yo, she's the one I want. I need to marry your daughter. How do I get your blessing? And my mom was like, let me pray about it. My mom was like, nah, I don't know about none of that. She liked him, but she was like, I don't know about that. He just kept hammering away. And finally, That fool had, honey, he went and bought him a whole ring, baby. He invited me to Vancouver. I showed up at the house. There's roses and flowers everywhere. And I'm like, and he had candles. The crazy part was, I was like, you left candles lit in your apartment? You could have burnt that place down. It was candles lit everywhere. But he knew he was ready for it. And when you
He was
know
like,
what
it
you,
was worth it, baby.
yeah, and when you know what you want, you better go after it. Because if you think that somebody's gonna be waiting around for you to be available when you want them, they may be gone. And that was off the rails. Sorry. Whose next question is it?
That would be me. The next question is, I have writer's block all the time. What was the most challenging part of writing Rose City? How did you overcome it? Any other advice for us aspiring authors? Thanks in advance. I'm going to kick that to you, author Corenna Khieu.
Thank you. Challenges. So writer's block is extremely real, and people are like, well, just get past it. So first off, I think you have to identify, like, why do you have writer's block? And writer's block, sometimes, I know for me, there's been so many times during Rose City, especially during the earlier days, I had a lot of writer's block. I was like, I wasn't sure of myself. I wasn't sure of what I was putting down on paper. I'm typing away, but I wasn't sure if what I was saying was good. I wasn't sure if, like, other people would like what I had to say. And one of the ways that I dealt with writer's block was to just, I had to stop thinking about Rose City in terms of, like, this is going to be a book that everybody's going to read. I had to just start focusing on it as a hobby, something that I did to have a lot of fun. Again, I don't have a lot of friends, you know what I'm saying? And that's cool. I'm not complaining. I'm not mad, because I understand quality over quantity. I had quantity and it was trash, but quality is way better. And so I spent a lot of time, like, where I was just like, I really would escape into Rose City, and I just would just get lost in these stories. And I was thinking, write the story because I like it, not because I'm thinking, well, what would this person say if I did this, or what would that person do? So when I just focused on, like, writing it as a hobby and getting into it, maybe nobody else's eyes will ever see this but my own. Just write like that. Write for me. Not, don't write for nobody else. Write like I'm the only person who will ever read this. And once I had gotten to a point, I think I had like 300 or 400 pages written. And I started telling my girls about it, like some of the story. They're like, that sounds good. I'm like, really? Because I was really concerned that, that they would be like, this is crazy. And the fact that you've come up with all this mess, like, where have you been at? Like, you've been downstairs in the living room typing all this up? Like, sis, what's been going on? So yeah, I would say get over writer's block is first get out of your own way. Identify, why are you feeling this form of anxiety? Because to me, writer's block is a form of anxiety. If you can get out of your way, if you can understand your story, even create like a map or a road map of, like, this is where the story starts, this is the middle, and this is the end. And then you can fill everything else in between. And then also I'm going to say, protect your dreams. This is for anybody. If you're writing, because I know Kyrie, she's writing stories and they are amazing. So check it out, because the link will be here for all of that. I'm not lying. Like, y'all have to check this stuff out. She's got a book right now called Betrayed by Love. And Pastor Ron ain't no joke. I'm going to just say, like, Alicia, if you start reading that story, you're going to be like, how did she channel your dad's evil spirit? Like, you're going to be like, whoa, Mr. Scott came out in this book.
Oh, come through, El Ray.
Yeah, my dad was like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I think he was bipolar, to be honest. He could be real cool. The next moment, you'd be like, oh, never seen anybody this mean before in my life. So that's amazing. Hilarious. Girl, it's scary. It's like, oh my God, somebody could do that.
As kids, we laugh about it now as adults.
We laugh about it now, yeah.
We own one, but when we were kids, we didn't know what to expect with Mr. El Ray.
You just didn't know. When he walked through the door,
it would be quiet, and then out of nowhere, you yahoos, and blah, 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 and he get the.
He would go in, and I was like, oh my God. Like, everybody in the house would get lit up. We got lit every day. I mean, multiple times a day.
I didn't even live with him when I got lit up. I was across the street.
Like, I live across the street. I'm getting jacked up over here. Like, Jesus. Yes. And then she has another story called Justice is Served. Whoa. Oh my God, you guys. The first 3 chapters are free. You're going to be hooked for Justice is Served and Betrayed by Love. It is wild. It is wild. Like, she's created a whole new court system where you get to bring a person who has wronged you before a judge, and the judge gets to, execute these sentences, and it's corporal punishment. So you get 15 lashes on Miss Teresa
Oh,
because
I'm
she should
dropping it. Oh,
she wrecked your car. So they
Yeah.
got like torture chambers and stuff. It's wild, but it's real funny. But
That's where
it's
I'm at.
good
Go
stuff.
missing.
But you got to get into it. But back to what I was saying about the story, it's just creating those outlines. Where do you want to go with the story, and protect your vision. Only share your vision with people who are going to be able to pour into your vision and encourage that. Because like Bella was young. Bella was like 14, 15, and I'd be like, "You want to hear something I wrote?" And I'd be, she'd be on the couch, and I'd be back over here typing, and we'd be watching Twilight or whatever, and she would be like, "Oh, Auntie Karina, that's good." So get around people who want to nurture and water your talent, because if you get around people and you tell them, "I want to write a book," or "I want to write poems, stories, whatever it is," and they're like, "Yeah, but like who's gonna read it?" And like, who's gonna take time for that? Like, people are negative, they are dream killers. So you protect your dreams from people who are gonna try to talk you out of it, who will make you think that what you're talking about is irrelevant. It's not irrelevant. It's your story. And one of the greatest things that I love, 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 love about writing, and I was telling Kyrie this, nobody can tell you what you're writing is wrong. You know what you're trying to get out. You know where the story is going. So don't worry about having writer's block, because you know exactly what it is that you're doing. You know exactly what it is that you're trying to accomplish here. Even if nobody else understands it, you have to understand it. You have to believe in yourself. So once you do that, you'll be good. You'll be golden to go. So that's important as well. So just really believe in your work, believe in the people who are around you, for their advice, because they're going to give you pieces too. They'd be like, "Well, have you ever thought about taking the story this way, or doing that?" Never be afraid to take criticism from people around you who love you and who can help you to see, like, Kyrie edits Rose City, and she does fabulous work. Like, I'm like, I wish I would have known that you was on this years ago, right? But I also know it's timing, because I think that, like, I was scared because she's not no Tupac listener. She don't be doing that type of stuff. Like, she ain't into all that. So I was just thinking, like, she's probably not going to want to get on board with this book. But, when she did show interest and was like, "I can edit for you." And I was like, "Oh, she got some good skills." I was like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, I want to bring you on board." And so your family and your friends can be your greatest asset to you having your dreams and getting past any writer's block or stumbling blocks. Get around people who nourish you. Get around people who love you. So, like Alicia, I keep telling her, Alicia can cook. Like, it's ridiculous. I mean, this girl put her foot all in some stuff. And so I'm like, we need a cookbook. And I'd be making fun of her about this. I call it, because her middle name, I'd be like, Chantelly Beans, baby. Everything this girl makes is gold. Like, she cooked like somebody's 85-year-old, 95-year-old grandmother. Her food is so seasoned.
It's all that pain. I put all that pain in my food. In my
She
food.
cooks. Like,
Not
I feel like I'm a good cook, but this is different. I'm talking about she cooked with her soul. It's an outer body experience, you know. Oh, that girl cooks. So I'm always on her with these beans. I love my baked beans, right? And I don't really like a lot of people's baked beans. Baby, I was like, I need that recipe. But everything I have of hers, I'm like, can I get a recipe for that? Because she knows how to take a recipe that's already good and make it great. So we're gonna work with her and get her cookbook
We're gonna,
out.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
In this with this
You got an
question,
editor already?
it
You
said
got an
right,
editor?
and I'm like, okay, what am I doing here? It's almost like I have a little bit of writer's block. Where do I start with this? And Karina's like, just start taking pictures as you cook, and just write down how you put it together. And I'm like,
Have
yeah,
you
I'm
a
gonna
meeting
do
with
that. And then
Kyrie?
I just forget about, But no,
Let me tell you something.
I need to
Have
get on
schedule
that.
you
I
a
forgot
meeting.
I had an editor in my bag. What up, girl? And yeah, we gonna get it. So pretty soon under them links,
You're
we'll
gonna have some Alicia
I'll
stuff
have
out here for.
something there other than my
And
name.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
Kyrie builds businesses for people. Like, you can come to her with an idea and she's taking notes. I just be thinking that I'd be talking. And by the time we get done talking, she's sending me a document. Like, okay, so this is it. And I'm like, what? Wait a minute. We talked for 15, 20 minutes, and you got a whole document with
A whole
everything I said
business plan.
listed. Her brain moves like a computer. It's wild. And so I don't feel like I would have ever been able to get to this point without her being like, oh, I can do this. Da, da, da. I'm talking about everything from creating videos to even producing this show. She does all the editing. She does it all. This woman is amazing. So for y'all out there who were like, I need a Kyrie in my life. Yeah, you can afford her services. Go ahead. Reach out, baby. Put your email in there. They need what you're looking for, okay? Yes. And she ain't gonna try to get over on you. She's super professional and she knows her business and she don't play no games. So you need to have good people around you as you are moving forward in any of your dreams and your aspirations and goals. You need people who are gonna motivate. You need people who are gonna speak life to you. Bella's got her thing going. Like I said, we're gonna have all her links here as well for that makeup and that hair and them fits. Cause honey, she's out here taking pictures. She's putting together outfits and designs. She's know what she's doing. She's a whole stylist. You know what I mean? And she do the hair. So you need people in your life who's like, we're going to take that to the next level.